We are back, and today we're predicting the number 6 seed in the NFC, the Washington Commanders, taking on the number 3 seed Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the winners of the NFC South in Tampa Bay. Sunday Night Football, 8 p.m. NBC. Now listening here very closely, we have a Week 1 matchup, another Week 1 matchup. The Packers and Eagles, that video is already out. The Commanders and Buccaneers, a Week 1 matchup. Well, today we're breaking down what I predict is going to be happening in this game. We're going to talk about some of the opening spread for Vegas, the opening spread, the over-under. We're going to look at each of these teams' schedules, how they got there, the trends, and ultimately who I think will win this matchup and advance to the divisional round of the playoffs. Now, Tampa Bay is fortunate with the 3 seed that they're not going to have to face either the Lions, the Vikings, the 5 seed in the NFC. Now, listen here very closely. The opening for this game, the way the spread is opened up, Buccaneers are 3-point favorites at home is the opening spread. Now, they always say the home team gets a few points, a point or two to be the home team. So really, this is a really close game to being 50-50. The money line, straight money line, Commanders are plus 140, Buccaneers are minus 160. And something very interesting to note, the over-under for this game is 50.5 points scored. Why is that important? Well, it is the highest over-under line of any of the games that I've predicted so far. The only game I haven't predicted yet is the 5 seed in the NFC. So we'll get into that prediction. That'll be the next video on the channel. You guys can go check that out when you're done here. So smash the like and subscribe button there. We're doing every single game on NFL Wildcard Weekend. We're going to be breaking it down with my predictions, looking to make lots and lots of money on the parlays and whatnot. The Commanders, they're a solid offensive unit, but they've been kind of struggling a little bit being hot and cold. Jaden Daniels, ever since that rib injury he suffered midseason, I feel like leading up to that rib injury, dude was insane. Ever since that rib injury, it's been hot and cold, streaky, up and down. That's a bit of a concern. The over-under being the highest over-under so far for the NFL Wildcard Weekend can be indicative that perhaps Vegas is thinking that Jaden Daniels is going to have a very good game in Tampa Bay. Something to further boost that claim is that Tampa Bay, Todd Bowles is usually known for his defense, but Tampa's pass defense is not necessarily as good as usual, not necessarily as good as what would be expected for Todd Bowles. Oh my gosh, say that, dude. Someone tell me this guy's last name. It's not, up to usually what we're used to seeing for that defensive-minded coach. The Buccaneers lost 4 games in a row in the middle of the season, and really Tampa Bay, they're almost built to win shootouts. And with Chris Godwin's injury, the Buccaneers offense kind of took a step back for a little bit there after Chris Godwin went down with a season-ending injury. I think Bucky Irving kind of re-sparked that flame of the offense and provided a little bit extra, a little oomph that the Buccaneers lost with Chris Godwin. Not necessarily, fulfilling it. He didn't necessarily account for 100% of that lost talent on offense, but the Buccaneers still are able to definitely put up points for sure. So let's go ahead and look at how these teams kind of went throughout the season. Let's go with the Buccaneers first, the home team, the winner of the NFC South. Well, Week 1, they started off with this exact matchup in Tampa Bay. The Commanders, welcome to the NFL, Jaden Daniels, 0 touchdowns. That's right, 0 touchdowns. Passing, Jaden Daniels had 16 carries, 88 yards, and two rushing touchdowns. So he clearly had a massive game right here on the ground against Tampa Bay. Passing, pretty good passing performance as well. 17 of 24 for 184 yards. And then Tampa Bay, Mayfield had himself a day as well. 24 of 30, 300 yards, 4 touchdowns. Bucky Irving looked good. Chris Godwin was a lot of the Buccaneers offense though. So without Chris Godwin, Mike Evans is going to have to step up. Evans had 2 touchdowns the first time these two teams played. I mean, they scored 57 total points in that first matchup, which could be a reason that this over-under is already at 50.5 points to open. Now, I think that this game could be very close. Jaden Daniels looked very good the first time these two teams met. Baker Mayfield, he's a bit of a hot and cold quarterback as well. He looked very good the first time these two teams met. Now, looking at the rest of the Buccaneers schedule and kind of how it played out throughout the season, they beat the Lions early on. They lost to the Broncos early on, lost to the Eagles, lost to the Falcons. Actually, They beat the Eagles early on. They lost to the Falcons then the following week. It's kind of been they've been a lot of shootouts against good teams. The Ravens, they lost 41-31, high-scoring affair. The Falcons, they lost 36-30, high-scoring affair. They beat the Saints 51-27. I mean, I'm getting exhausted just looking at how many points the Buccaneers have scored. The Chargers, they put up 40 against the Chargers. The Panthers, they put up 48 against the Panthers. Those were recent games. So, I mean, even as of recent, without Chris Godwin, listen to the last, what is this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The last 7 weeks, these are the amount of offensive points the Buccaneers have scored. 30, 26, 28, 40, 24, 48, 27. So, I mean, really, it's been a bit, you can see a bit of a deviation from averaging from 26 points 1 week to then 40, 48 in the 40s against the worst teams, beating the Panthers and then the Chargers defense. Putting up 40 against the Chargers, that's no easy task. So we know the Buccaneers, they can definitely put up points. Now let's go look at the Commanders. The Washington Commanders, how did they start their season off? Well, obviously they lost to the Buccaneers, and then Jay Daniels started, continuing that positive energy that we saw in that opening performance with the 2 rushing touchdowns and almost 100 rushing yards. He beat the Giants. He beat the Bengals, 38 points on the Bengals' head, put up 42 against the Cardinals, put up 34 against the Browns. Then they lost to the Ravens, and that's where I think the rib injury happened. And then things the offense, I feel like, started stuttering. Didn't necessarily start putting up as many points, but they've looked pretty solid as of late. Going back to the beginning of December, the Commanders played the Titans, put up 42, 42-19, beat the Saints 20-19, beat the Eagles 36-33. Big confidence booster for the Commanders team. They beat the Falcons 30-24 in overtime, and then they beat the Cowboys 23-19, but that was Marcus Mariota, so who cares? Now, both of these teams seemingly have momentum heading into the playoffs. Obviously, yes, the Cowboys did beat the Buccaneers in Jerry's World 26-24. That was glitchy, I'm not going to lie. But the Buccaneers dropped 48 on the Panthers' head, and the Panthers they're a team with momentum. Let's not joke about them anymore heading into 2025. Buccaneers also, they might have been down by double digits at halftime against the garbage can Saints, but they also destroyed them. They won by 8. They still covered the spread. I mean, it was a pretty solid second half performance, very good second half performance. They got Mike Evans his boost. They're all happy. Tampa Bay, home field advantage. The fans are happy. It's going to be a shootout. I think this game is going to be high scoring. I think, this is the game where you want to bet on the touchdown scorers. This is the game where you want to bet on, Mike Evans to score a touchdown. You want to bet on Bucky Irvin to potentially score a touchdown. Terry McLaurin, Zach Ertz. I think a lot of guys are going to get involved. And really, this is the one game where I might stay away from it. The Packers-Eagles, that's a close spread. The Chargers-Texans, that's a close spread. And I'm fine predicting those games. Commanders-Bucs, I'm not confident, boys. I'm not confident at all. I'm really not. I think that it's really going to come down to defense. And I think that the Commanders might have the better defense as of right now. I'm not going to lie. I think the Commanders' defense might be slightly better. I mean, maybe it comes down to that Marshawn Lattimore addition, early, middle of the season. If it comes down to that, I don't know. Baker Mayfield, I think, is the better quarterback right now. I'm not going to lie. I think he's playing a lot better passing-wise, but we haven't picked a dog yet. And we need to. Where are the dogs at? Commanders, plus 140. I'm going with Washington to upset the Buccaneers. Everything in my brain is telling me it's a bad idea. Am I personally going to bet on the Commanders? I don't know, man. I'm going to have to really think about this one. I broke it down right here. I think the Commanders' defense is just better. And Jaden Daniels, the fact that the over-under is set pretty high. Vegas think Daniels is going to have a good game. Daniels had a good game earlier in the season, week 1. I'm going with Washington to win this game on the road. And it's scary. I'm scared. Smash the like and subscribe button. Comment down below who you got. Peace out. Thanks for watching.